Okay, so this little video is intended to help you out if you're not sure which equation to use. The last unit we only had one equation, so it was pretty easy. Right now, I'm focused on this little piece of the guess method, and that is the choosing the equation. Instead of only having one, now we've got lots to choose from. So once you have your givens written down and your unknown, generally in any problem, so this is just kind of some helpful hints here, in any problem, your givens and unknown will give you a list of 4 variables. Basically, any problem that you solve with this kinematics work will have 4 variables, 3 that you know, 1 that you don't know, okay? A couple of little hints here to make sure that you're paying attention to. If it says that something either starts at rest or comes to rest, we know that that means that the velocity at that time is 0. That's one of those kind of, I don't want to say tricky, but kind of hidden values there, okay? Other than that, most of it is pretty much the same as we've talked about. The length of time or how long does it take generally means time. How far means displacement, those kinds of things, okay? But even so, there are kind of a lot of equations to choose from. I'm focused right now on these bottom 4. These are kind of known as the classic kinematics equations. These are the ones that you're generally going to choose from. And these are the ones that sometimes it's a little bit hard to pick. So I'm going to show you a way to kind of set it up in your brain so that it might be a little bit easier to choose. If you take a look at those 4 equations that are in that box, you'll notice, as I mentioned, that there are 4 variables in each one. But there are really 5 variables in total that one can identify. And I'm just going to go ahead and list those across the top. The first one is the initial velocity. Another one is final velocity. Sometimes you're given the acceleration. Sometimes you've got time, and sometimes you've got change in position or displacement. Okay, so those are the 5 variables, and each equation only has 4 of those. So we're going to make ourselves a little chart. Y'all know that I really like charts, so I'm going to go ahead and make myself a nice little chart here, and I would encourage you to do the same. And I'm going to number my equations just so that I can kind of keep track in a little bit of more formal way. So I'm going to number my equations. I'm going to just number them 1, 2, 3, and 4, just so that I don't have to rewrite them. And I'm just going to write those equations down here. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, I'm just trying to get myself organized a little bit so that I know which equation might be a good choice in any one of these problems. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take a look here at equation 1. That's this one right here. Oops, I kind of crossed out that 1/2, but you get the idea, right? This equation right here. And I want to see what things that equation has. So I'm going to look here and I see that it does have a VI. So I'm just going to put a little check mark. I'm just doing some inventory. It's got a VF. There is no A in this equation. So I'm just going to leave A open for now. It does have a T and it does have a delta X. Let's do equation 2. Equation 2 does have a VI. It also has VF. I can see there's an A in this one and there's a T. The thing that's missing in equation 2 is delta X, okay? I'll explain why that's significant in just a second. Another one, the number 3, it has a VI as well, okay? There, if you look at that equation carefully, number 3, there is no VF, okay? But then if we look, it's got an A, it's got a T, actually it has 2 T's. This is my favorite of the kinematics equations, by the way. And it does have displacement as well. And then if we look at this last one here, it's got initial velocity and final velocity. It's got acceleration. The thing that's missing is time, and it does have displacement, okay? Again, the reason that I like this chart is because if you look carefully at it, every single one of the equations has initial velocity, okay? That's one of those variables that you're always going to have. I can't think of a problem that you would do in this class where you wouldn't have initial velocity. And if you get to a problem like that, let me know and I can help you solve it kind of from a backwards approach, okay? Everybody has VI, but you'll notice that each of the equations is missing one of the other things. So if you look here, equation 1 is missing acceleration. Equation 2 is missing displacement. Equation 3 is missing final velocity, and equation 4 is missing time. So when you go through and you're making your givens list, now you can look to see which things you have. And if you have the things, everything except acceleration, then equation 1 is the equation you want. You might need to do some manipulation or some algebra to solve, but that's the equation that's going to get you where you want to go. Hope that helps.